Branchwych. Man, that starts to sound super weird after a while. Yeah, I need to change it up. Hey hobby friends, I'm Jared, and this is Caffeinated Miniatures. Thanks for hanging out with me today. After painting skank after skank after skank after skank, you see where this is going. For the past week or so, I kind of felt like I needed to paint something different. Maybe attempt a small bit of non-metallic metal, and just spend a little more time on something. Don't get me wrong, it's not like I haven't enjoyed painting those skinks, and seeing all of that vibrant color on the tabletop is a whole lot more awesome than just a bunch of gray. I just needed to mix things up a bit. Regardless, I was visiting my friendly local game store, and some of the Sylvaneth models just jumped out at me. Not literally, because I mean, I'd be running out of there dead quick. Anyways, I ended up with a Branchwych in my hands. It is a badass sculpt, and I could immediately see a story, sort of a theme or a way that I wanted to paint it up. And so I was pretty excited at the prospect of painting it. Living in Canada, next to the Rocky Mountains, I think just snow and winter are just a part of my soul. So I could immediately see some cool bluey gray, wintry kind of tones in the branches, on those limbs, kind of inspired by birch trees in winter. Maybe with some warmer, yellowy brown leaves and that barky skirt thing. So with a basic concept of what I was doing, I set off to paint this Branchwych model. I'll just cut in here to let you know about this week's sponsor, the subscribe button. Clicking that little button costs you nothing, and the number beside the channel name goes up by 1. It's a free win for both of us. And as an added bonus, if you click that notification bell, YouTube will let you know the next time I upload a video. All of that for the low price of free. You really can't afford not to. Now, back to the video. After priming it black, I sprayed a bit of a zenithal highlight with gray cere, just as a way of sort of visualizing all of those various volumes. The vast majority of this model was going to be that blue-gray, kind of highlighting to white. So I base coated all those areas in Basilicanum Gray contrast paint, doing a second lap on some of those darker areas, like the lower legs. I then started highlighting up by mixing Vallejo dark blue-gray and cold white. Adding more and more cold white as I went. Trying to pull the focus to the center of the model and the face. I kept the brightest highlights kind of centralized there. Moving on to the warm yellowy browns, I used snakebite leather contrast paint as a base coat. Quick side note, you may have noticed, but I tend to use snakebite leather a lot. I just think it's a great, warm, rich tone, and it's super versatile. I really like it. Anyways, after the base coat was dry, I set the midtone with Vallejo medium flesh tone, then mixing in some ivory for the highlights. For the shoulder bug thing. Remember, I'm not great at lore. I went with a cool blue-green in Aethermetic Blue as a base coat. Then highlighting with Vallejo Light Sea Gray and Cold White. Finally, I started in on the scythe, base coating with Achillean Green. Now, having never attempted any form of non-metallic metal or NMM, I kind of thought the scythe might be a decent place to start. Because metal is so reflective, light bounces off of it in a much different way than, say, cloth or even skin. You get searing, bright, hot reflections next to deep, dark shadows next to counter reflections, rather than those smooth, predictable transitions between highlight to shadow, kind of I'm used to on everything else. And this concept is one that, to be quite honest, I've really struggled with. Nevertheless, I bravely set forth. Sketching in the brightest highlights with nearly pure cold white. Once I had those placed kind of where I thought they should be, I glazed back and forth with different mixes of cold white and turquoise until I was fairly happy with the look. And finished up with an edge highlight of cold white. Then it was time for the base. I glued down a bunch of broken up coconut husk, kind of allowing the center to become quite thick, essentially creating a little bit of height without going full cork tower. Trying to stick with the cold, dark, and moody atmosphere that I envisioned this angry tree to be in, I sprayed the base with Mechanicus Standard Gray, then dry brushed a mix of Citadel Stormvermin Fur and Viahill Cold White. Then to bring back some of those earthy, foresty tones, I slopped down some Agrax Earthshade, doing a second lap in some of the deeper recesses to darken them even more. Once all that wash was dry, I did a final light dry brush of ivory, and it was time to glue this angry tree to the base. Then I glued down some moss and grass of various heights and sizes, and it was nearly done. However, I thought it really needed a final detail. That base really needed some snow. During my visit to my friendly local game store, I picked up some battlefield snow from our repainter. Not quite sure how to best deploy it, I grabbed a test base and first sprinkled it directly onto some PVA glue, but that dried a little flatter than I'd hoped. So I ended up mixing the snow and PVA glue into a crystally paste. And smearing that onto a few spots on the base, and, well, there you have it, something completely different and something that, well, I'm fairly proud of. Have you painted something new to you recently? I'd love to hear about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you've made it this far, you are a grade A champion, and I appreciate you. Consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It is absolutely free to you, and it really is the best way to help this channel out. Thanks for watching this. You are awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.